can use that. That's going to smell. I had sausage for dinner.
Jesus fucking Christ. All right, cleared out. Are you playing Switch?
I didn't sit here and watch you guys talk. I must do something.
I saw the colorful Joy-Cons over there. That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
You have a lot of material for a cold open already.
Yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to our Week 3 preview. Just wanted to let you know, our friend Justin here had to do a calendar shoot because he came in last place last season, and Vince has been working very hard on this video to put it all together. We had a great time shooting the calendar. So that video should be up in a week, 2 weeks, Vince? What are we thinking? By Sunday. Okay, so subscribe. I tell you all the time, subscribe, or I'm going to do terrible things to you and your family. Nothing illegal, just terrible things. Bad things.
Like steal the TV remote.
Yes. So we need you to check out Justin getting punished because it was funny. It was fun to do. I'm very excited to see it. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can see it as soon as it's posted. Please enjoy the show. Welcome to the Fantasy Beer League, where you get half-decent advice from half-decent guys. I'm your host, Shawn Joyce. With me, as always, is Justin. I don't know what the fuck he's doing.
I got a mustache hair stuck on my lip.
All right, well, I'll save my nickname for you for next week because I don't know what that was. That was way too distracting. Our resident fantasy football expert, Matt Senni, and I'm our loser tonight because I suck. And Dak Prescott, thank you for getting me less than 8 points. I really appreciate it. And George Kittle, shout out to you, too, for being invisible on an offense that doesn't have its second best wide receiver.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're down like 4 running backs, so why would you get the ball? I don't know. I'm going to draw my punishment. So here I go. Rummage through. Make sure I get a good one.
There you go. There's a lot of bad ones in there.
Yep. 19 of them. Gatorade bath. That's not that bad.
No,
there's honestly worse.
Yeah,
Way worse.
You'll be the first one to get a Gatorade bath for losing now.
That is true. I will be the first head coach, manager, whatever you want to call me, to get a Gatorade bath after sucking. So, Justin, please read the fines for us.
Sure thing.
From last week.
So, Shawn, you owe $4 for saying fines owned instead of fines owed. And for saying
Did it correct this time?
Yeah, and for saying Jameis Winston has the fewest pass attempts for a 5-touchdown performance. That honor goes to Frank Ryan of the Cleveland Browns, who threw 5 touchdowns on 13 pass attempts against none other than the Giants on December 12th, 1964.
Yep. I was very confident that I was right, too, and that you were wrong, so that one hurt doubly for me.
I think if I hadn't just seen it on TV prior to coming over to record, I wouldn't have remembered that.
Well, I'm glad that I owe $2 because of you.
And then myself, I owe $4 for clearing my throat during Thirsty Thursday.
First of the year.
Yeah.
It's always the best.
Yeah, first of many. And then for stupidly advising to start Evan Ingram even though he was injured.
Yeah, yep, okay. So $8 more go to the pot, which will be paid out to the winner of the league at the end of the season. Senni, why don't you catch us up on the poll results?
All right, so first, flex option, easy for you to say. 63% yes, 37% no.
You had to be a no. You were on the no side. Not easy for you to say.
No, it's not, because I fucked it up, right?
Like 3 times.
Yeah, it's not easy.
No, easy for you to say.
Are you done doubting David Montgomery? 2 out of 3 in favor of yes.
I'm done.
Yeah.
You're not.
Yeah, I was also a no.
This is fucking awesome. What's more likely to make you throw up? 3 out of 4 people say Dasani over rye whiskey.
Perfect.
Because it's the most garbage water.
It's
the way it
really
should be.
bad. I'd rather drink IGA water.
Yeah.
I'd rather drink sink water.
I'd rather drink Gatorade.
That's true. Well, give it some time.
Can Big Ben throw the ball more than 6 yards down the field?
Factually, he cannot.
No, I think his average for the year is 6.7.
Oh, went up over the weekend?
Yeah.
I'm not going to press you because I don't want to pay more money.
9 out of 10 say, no, he cannot.
Good. They're right. 9 out of 10 people are right. Because, I mean, I saw him get a long play to Juju, but it was a screen pass.
Yeah.
So we got to look at air targets. Air yard targets for that fucking guy.
We'll need the analytics for next week.
Yeah, next gen stats.
I'm off this week. I can run it.
Does Urban Meyer need to use James Robinson more?
He
Yes.
does.
95% yes.
Good. Hopefully he does.
Is Mark Ingram worth adding? 60% yes to about 40% no.
Okay. Pretty even.
And I believe that is everything.
All right. Well, thank you. Let's get into week 3 games, previewing the first game that I have here, the Falcons and the Giants.
This is going to be a barn burner.
Oh, my God.
Could be. Falcons are still the Falcons.
Yep.
So you're going to start Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts every week. I'm not sure if there's anybody else. Mike Davis and Cordero Patterson are in a bit of a timeshare with each other. Mike Davis had 7 catches last week against the Bucs. I don't think that's a repeatable trend.
No, and it's weird to see Patterson being in a committee because I always thought of him as like a special teams specialist, kick return specialist. There you go.
Yeah, he's been bounced around the league. They've used him in different ways. I think they want him to be like a Swiss Army knife because he can play receiver, he can play special teams, he can play running back. He's like a worse version of Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I don't know if that's a compliment or I don't think he's a terrible NFL player, but he serves no purpose in fantasy. The Giants lost another heartbreaker last Thursday night against Washington. What should managers do with Saquon Barkley, Justin?
I want to say wait it out. I mean, his volume's going up. The numbers and efficiency really isn't or aren't. Whatever. I want to say wait it out. He's still such a great, talented running back. I have to imagine he's going to bounce back soon. It might just take some time for him to get his footing.
Yeah, well, if you drafted him, I mean, you kind of should have known that it was going to take a bit for him to get going again because he's coming off a major injury. This is actually the first week, if I had him, that I would be starting him.
Would be?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't have the first 2 weeks.
Right.
But he played most of the snaps on Thursday. He has 10 days to rest before this game. And they're playing the fucking Falcons. If he can't get it going against the Falcons, man, I mean, he might still need more time. Like, you can't trade him or drop him.
Yeah.
At
this point, you have to keep him.
Yeah, if you invested in him, you have to keep playing him. But this is a week that I think he's actually going to be, a top 15 running back. Sterling Shepard, if you haven't already added him in your leagues, you should. He has 19 targets and over 200 yards through the first 2 weeks. He is clearly the number 1 wide receiver on this team, despite the fact that they added Kenny Golladay. He just seems most comfortable with Daniel Jones. I'm not necessarily advising you to rush in and start him, but he's worth a flex consideration every week, especially this week against a bad Falcons team. Vince and I are going to this game for Eli Manning's jersey retirement, which is exciting, but I don't have faith in my team or the other team. Giants win 3-2.
Okay, it's a hockey score there. I'm going to go Giants as well.
You say 3-2?
3-2.
I think this is a must-win for the Giants.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one where you got to put it away.
Yeah, the same's true for the Falcons. So,
I think the Giants can actually contend for their division, though.
well, their division is the worst.
I just have no confidence in Matt Ryan at this point.
I have no confidence in anything. I've seen both teams lose terrible ways.
Yeah.
So this is going to be ugly. It could be high scoring. I think there's actually going to be a lot of offense, despite my 3-2
I think it'll be a
prediction.
good game to go to.
Yeah, we'll see. I get to see my boy's jersey retired. That's the only reason I'm actually going. Giants get smacked. At least I got to see some history. The Washington take on the Bills this week. Washington's defense was terrible last week. The Giants' defense was worse, so they were able to win that game. Antonio Gibson had under 10 points again, Justin. J.D. McKissick, his bullshit is back, which is very fucking annoying. He had 9 touches to Gibson's 15. Are you at all concerned with Antonio Gibson going forward?
I am a little concerned. Just seeing that target share being pushed over to McKissick. If I was a Gibson owner, if I had him, I might think about putting him on my bench, letting him ride out a little bit just to see if he starts to get the numbers back up. Just because I would be worried.
I'm concerned mostly because they're not using him in the passing game.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy played wide receiver in college. I don't understand, why you wouldn't throw him more passes for a guy with a Batman tattoo on his chest. Doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. So if you drafted him, you have to keep playing him, I think. I don't see how you could bench him. I don't see how you would have a guy on your bench who you feel comfortable putting in over Gibson. So for the rest of the year, I mean, I'm very concerned about Antonio Gibson. I think he's fringe top 20 now. But, I mean, he should be fringe top 10. With him and J.D. McKissick, if you were to combine their numbers, it would be an excellent running back. But for whatever reason, McKissick still gets work. I think it's bullshit.
I picked him up off free agency, so I didn't even think to play him. And he scored more than most people on my team this past week.
Yeah, he did. Bills, their defense shut down Miami on Sunday, but that did not translate to fantasy success for the guys you should be starting. Zach Moss had 2 touchdowns. Singletary had 1. Josh Allen tossed a couple, but finished with under 20 fantasy points for the second consecutive week. Is he taking a step back this year, Justin?
I don't know if he's taking a step back or the team is finding ways to. I mean, they didn't win their first game, but ways to get it done apart from through him. But we've seen a lot of players get big contracts and then kind of regress afterwards. So I'm wondering if this could be the case. Sucks for fantasy owners.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, I think a minor step back, but it's nothing that I would be super worried about.
I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I have no concerns. He had a running play towards the end of the game where he got stopped at the 1-yard line. They originally called it a touchdown. If that touchdown stands, we're not even talking about this because he has 6 more points.
Yeah.
So I have no concerns. Zach Moss isn't going to score 2 touchdowns every week. He might not score 2 touchdowns for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So I have no concerns about Josh Allen. Just be patient with it. There's going to be good weeks and bad weeks, as with every quarterback. He's just having a bit of a slow start. I think the Bills win big on Sunday, 27-16.
Yeah, I'm going Bills.
Yeah, I think so too.
Next, we have the Bears
Bears.
and the Browns. Andy Dalton left last week's game with an injury, Justin. How does Justin Fields change this offense?
I mean, I think he offers more in the running game. I think that'll open things up, but I expect position players to maybe take a step back, just because I don't think he's as ready to kind of run the offense.
Yeah, I agree. For the Browns, Jarvis Landry left the game early with an MCL injury, and it's still unclear if Odell Beckham Jr. will be back for Week 3. Are there any other pass catchers worthy of adding on this team, Justin?
None that I can think of. Maybe Njoku if you're desperate, but other than that, nobody else.
I sort of like Donovan Peoples-Jones. If they're both out, I think he stands to benefit the most.
Sure.
As in terms of pass catchers. But what I really think is that Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb become that much more valuable. I think it's going to be a lot of running until their offense is at full strength. But I still think the Browns win this game 27-17.
Yeah, I'm going Browns.
No, I'm going to go with the Bears.
All right. Okay. Senni, can you name a Ravens running back?
I have one on my team, don't I?
I don't know.
Is Gus Edwards not on the Ravens?
He's not playing, right? He's hurt.
Yeah, but I have him. I feel like that should count.
But he's not on the active roster. He's out for the year.
All right. Is Mark Ingram on the Ravens?
No.
Okay. I'm telling you, like Gus Edwards would have been my first thought.
I just hear the clicking from
Of Vince's game.
No. I think that would have been the only one I could have come up with.
If I could do half of one, I'd do half of one because Gus Edwards is on the Ravens. He's just not active he's out for the year. You can drop him. You don't need him anymore. I don't know if you still have him.
No, I think I dropped him.
Well, the Ravens are taking on the Lions this week, and the Lions are bad. Tyson Williams and Latavius Murray are their top main running backs. They also have Devontae Freeman. But those two are in a pretty even committee. Do you have a preference or interest in starting either, Justin?
I think my preference would probably go to Tyson Williams. Just early on, he looked good. I think it was against Vegas. He had a long-ish touchdown run.
Yeah.
I think both can serve well, maybe as a flex option. But Tyson would be my preference.
I think he offers more upside.
Yeah.
I think, like you said, he has the better ability to break those long runs. I think as the season goes on, Latavius Murray may have a higher volume.
Yeah.
Tyson Williams looks like he might have a bit of a fumbling issue. He fumbled in the beginning of the game against the Chiefs, and thankfully, well, I mean, I guess depending on your angle, thankfully somebody fell on it, so it was a touchdown. It wasn't a turnover. And he fumbled the week before. But I don't know. I do like both guys. I think Tyson Williams is more valuable. Neither catches many passes, so in PPR, the upside's a bit capped. But I think either is fine as a flex option in deeper leagues. Because the Lions are terrible at defense, Jared Goff is going to bortle himself and his teammates to some garbage time fantasy points. We know we're starting Swift and Hawkinson every week, but does Quintez Cephas deserve a look, Justin?
I think so. Scores in both of the first 2 games this year. I think adding him to your roster and garbage time points are still points for a fantasy team.
Yeah, 7 targets and a touchdown in each of the first 2 games. And somebody's got to catch the ball. And like we said, garbage time. I mean, back in the day when Blake Bortles was on the Jags and they were down 34-10 at halftime, you get a lot of garbage points because defenses just play back and you pick them apart. You're not good enough to actually do anything. I like him. Hawkinson is still my number 1 pass catcher on this offense, but Quintez Cephas, I think, is the most fantasy has the most fantasy value among the wide receivers on that team.
Fantasy friendly?
Fantasy friendly, yeah. I think that's what I was going for. I think the Ravens are going to win 31-13.
Yeah, I want to pick the upset, but I'm going Ravens.
I can't see the Ravens losing, honestly.
No.
Colts play the Titans. Tighten up.
Tighten up.
Carson Wentz was forced out of Sunday's game with injuries in both of his ankles. How does the volume of this team change if Wentz is unable to play, Justin?
I think it goes down drastically for their pass catchers. I mean, the passing game kind of looked great with Wentz under center.
My boy Michael Pittman Jr., I've been talking about him for like a year and a half. He finally had that breakout game over 100 yards. Might all be for naught.
Yep, and I think he's a free agent in our league.
It's an 8-team league.
Yeah.
That's true, too. But yeah, I think if Wentz is out, that drastically hurts the pass catchers.
I agree. I'm hoping that he can play as someone who loves Michael Pittman Jr. The Titans' defense has given up 30 points in 4 straight games. The pass offense was great with Wentz. The Titans are going to try to take away the run if he can't play. And the guy that came in, Jacob Eason, he's not good enough to uphold the fantasy value of guys like Michael Pittman or Zach Pascal. For the Titans, Derrick Henry is God. 182 rushing yards and 3 touchdowns, plus 6 catches for 55 yards.
You don't see that from him.
No, love seeing him involved in the passing game. Speaking of the passing game, Julio Jones had his first great game as a Titan against Seattle, while A.J. Brown had a pretty quiet day. How do you view this duo going forward, Justin?
I think the best way that I can put it is I'm happy to have neither of them because I feel like it would be up and down weeks for them. One week, Jones could be the guy. The next week, Brown could be the guy, which is looked to be the case this year. Brown got a touchdown week 1. Julio had a lot of yards this past week.
He had a touchdown too, but the refs fucked him over.
That was this week?
That was, Julio.
Right, okay. So, I mean, I think it's tough. I think if you have them, you really should still start them in the event that they do have the good games, but it's so hard to tell.
I think A.J. Brown has much more value than Julio Jones. I think at the end of the year, we'll look at this as a bit of an outlier. I think Julio will be solid most weeks, but I think A.J. Brown is still a wide receiver 1. Julio is still a wide receiver 2.
Sure.
I think the Titans win either way, 30-13 if Wentz is out, 31-30 if Wentz plays.
Yeah, I'm going Titans.
Tighten up.
Next, we have the Chargers and the Chiefs. Chargers got fucked by the refs on Sunday.
Yeah,
pretty bad multiple times.
Yeah.
While Eckler, Allen, and Mike Will made it, all have been productive this season. Justin Herbert's fantasy numbers have not been great. Will that change this week, Justin?
I think so. I think this is going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a great game to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that's what it was going to be in Dallas, too, and it just wasn't. So I'm hoping that Herbert can get it going. Like, he's looked good in a real-life standpoint,
Yeah.
but only 1 passing touchdown a week doesn't get it done. For the Chiefs, don't sweat the bad game from Tyreek Hill. He was double covered all game. Mahomes is never going to need to force the ball. He sees the field better than any quarterback in the NFL. But with 12.8 total fantasy points on the season, what should fantasy managers do with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin?
I think put him on the bench or get rid of him. I would not be comfortable starting him.
Yeah. I feel like you've probably invested too much in him to straight up drop him.
That's where I'm at.
But
Yeah,
if I had...
3rd round pick in our league.
Yeah, you can't drop him yet. See if somebody wants to buy the dips. I'm fine with trading him because it's a large enough sample size now.
Sure.
They don't use him the way that Andy Reid's running backs have been used in the past. And they trust Patrick Mahomes, so even in, game-sealing situations, they want the ball in his hands. They would rather throw 3 times to get a first down than run the ball 3 times. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire gave them good reason to continue doing that with a late fumble.
Yeah.
That actually saved Senni from being punished.
Yep.
Because I had Butker who would have kicked a field goal. That catch by Kelsey on the last drive put him ahead of me. Butker would have given me the lead back. Instead, Clyde Edwards-Helaire sucked ass. I think the Chiefs are going to win 38-30.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
Next, we have the Saints. Fuck the Saints and the Patriots. Saints look like doo-doo against the Panthers. They face a tougher defense this week in New England. What are your expectations for the offense on Sunday, Justin, from the Saints?
I don't have high expectations for them. I think Kamara is really the only one you should start.
I agree.
And really should be the only one that you should have been starting all year.
I agree. And just as an aside, I'm done with Marquez Callaway. I bought into the preseason hype. After 2 bum weeks, I don't think you need a pass catcher on this team. Maybe Michael Thomas when he comes back. Fuck Michael Thomas too, though. Senni, can you name an offensive player on the Patriots?
Only because I know I have one on my team. Sony Michel, right?
No, he is on the Rams.
Really?
Yeah, he got traded in the
traded.
offseason.
How can I? All right, that's fine.
He was on the Patriots before the season started. Or, well, in the months. Like July, I think he got traded. Or August, maybe.
August, yeah. You were right, though. You do have Sonny Michel.
Yeah, and he was on the Patriots a long time ago. Or a few months ago.
He was on the Patriots when this board was made because it still says New England.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
I'm trying to think if there's literally anyone else I know on this team, and I know every week that I typically don't. So probably not.
Yeah, the only name I think you might know would be Jacoby Myers because I said it last week.
It sounds familiar, but like I literally could care less that this team existed without Brady on it. Once Brady left, the team fell off my radar.
Yeah. Their running back, Damian Harris, I think is a fine flex option. Despite the good game from James White, James White is always going to have those pop games.
That's what I was going to say. Like, he gets 1 or 2 of those a year.
Yeah, and it's still not worth starting him because you're either going to get that giant boom or that bust. And it's not even like you can look at the matchups and say, oh, he's going to go off this week.
Yeah.
You can't predict it.
Right.
And Jonnu Smith I like as well as Damian Harris. But those are really the only players I'm interested in on this team. Patriots win 69-0. Fuck the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going Pats.
I'm gonna go Saints.
Oh, Senni.
I hate them, but
Get out.
I can't sit here and say that I don't know anyone on the Patriots and then say I think they're gonna win a game.
You know Bill Belichick. Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, he's under center.
That would be a sight to see.
I don't think you'd be able to bring him down.
I mean, he's 60-something years old. I know he's fat, but he's just, if he gets sacked, man, he's
We
dead.
got to get him on their bye week. We got to get him on for an episode.
Okay, you take care of
There's
that.
nothing better to do with this time.
Yeah, I'm sure you can get him. You can get him on that, Justin. Bengals play the Steelers this week.
Joy.
Yeah,
Joe
We're gonna
Burrow
fucking lose
struggled.
this game.
Joe Burrow struggled against the Bears on Sunday, throwing 3 picks and only 2 touchdowns. Through 2 weeks of the season, how do you view the value of his wide receivers, Justin?
I mean, I have T. Higgins. I liked him. He served me well the past couple weeks. And I like Jamar Chase, too. I think Tyler Boyd is a good flex play. I wouldn't see him anywhere higher than that, just with the early struggles that Burrow's had. If he can kind of right his mistakes, maybe a weekly flex play. But the 2 that I'm really sold on are Higgins and Chase.
Agreed. Najee Harris was once again the workhorse back for the Steelers, and Ben's inability to throw the deep ball increases Najee's PPR value. PP. Deontay Johnson was injured on the final play of the game, which sucks because it was useless. They should have just taken the knee.
Yeah.
If he's unable to go, I don't believe that the value of Chase Claypool or Juju Smith-Schuster increases or decreases. I think it stays completely stagnant. Do you agree, Justin?
I will agree with Claypool because I feel like those plays with Claypool, a lot of them are those deep balls where it's like 20, 30 yards down the field.
When Ben underthrows him by 5 yards, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That he has to come back for and catch.
Yeah.
Yep. Watched too
Juju,
many times.
yeah, Juju I feel thrives in the slot.
Catching passes 2 yards in front of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and then catching the catch and run plays.
Yeah.
So I think Juju, I'm not giving him a huge boost, but I think he has more upside.
More potential to get the ball now.
Yeah.
I don't see it that way because I feel like Deontay Johnson is the most well-rounded wide receiver on the team.
Oh, he absolutely is.
Yeah,
I
That's
agree
a
with
fact.
I agree with your assessment on Chase Claypool. I almost see Juju as more of an extension of the run. He doesn't have much depth on his targets. So he might have, 7 catches for 40 yards. I don't see him running a wider range of routes or his value changing at all if Deontay Johnson is out. But time will tell.
Yeah.
Hopefully it won't. Hopefully Deontay Johnson will just fucking play.
Yeah, I hope.
I think the Steelers are going to win 23-17.
Yeah, I fucking hope. I'm picking the Steelers.
If we lose this fucking game, I'll lose my shit.
Bengals aren't bad, man. Joe Burrow's a good quarterback.
Yeah, Steelers aren't great either.
I know.
Yeah, especially if TJ Watt can't play. I know he got hurt.
Yeah, fucking groin. How do you injure your groin?
Ask
Be a
Phil
pussy.
Hunt.
Yeah, that's true. You say be a pussy.
Cardinals play the Jags. Kyler Murray, future MVP. Good at football.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
looking
he
like a
is.
good pick. Me taking him over
Yeah, isn't that? I keep thinking about
Josh
that.
Allen.
I think about it
Yeah.
every week.
Week 1, we saw a big game from Christian Kirk. And week 2, we saw a big game from Rondale Moore. Can you trust either of these guys in your lineup, Justin?
I like Kirk more as a flex play. He did the same thing last year, too. He had several weeks where he had serviceable numbers. So I would trust him more.
I like both guys. I think they offer weekly upside. I do value Kirk more.
Yeah.
I think he's more likely. But I do like Rondale Moore in deep leagues as a flex play as well. AJ Green still kicking. He scored a touchdown. So there's 4 guys there.
That was the Green that scored?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I got the update that
Green scored?
Yeah, and I was like, okay.
Yeah. But with 4 wide receivers, you got to keep in mind there's going to be peaks and valleys.
Yeah, a lot of mouths to feed.
But if for some reason one of them were to get hurt, their value skyrockets,
Yep.
and I would advise starting them as a wide receiver 3. For the Jags, James Robinson has been struggling.
Mm-hmm.
How are you approaching his situation going forward, Justin?
He's staying on my goddamn bench unless somebody wants to take him.
Okay, I agree. The first week, there was too much Carlos fucking Hyde because Urban Meyer is himself.
Yeah.
This week, he got the majority of the volume, but inefficient touches. I don't know if it's a dip in his skill or if teams are just keying in on him because he has a rookie quarterback, but I would think that Trevor Lawrence is probably better than Gardner Minshew. Easy for me to say. At least I finally got it. Yeah, James Robinson bench. I'm done talking now that I fucked that up so bad. Arizona wins 27-24.
Yeah, Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona.
Thirsty Thursday time. Vince just gave us an update on his Switch playing. He said he's making a 10-year-old kid cry in Mario Golf
Which is
because
awesome.
Vince is 14 under par and this kid's only 3 under par.
Not enough to be good at real golf.
Yeah.
You have to
He
fuck
has to
people
be-
up in the only
yeah.
golf kids are good at.
Exactly. Just shitting on kids.
All right.
Speaking of shitting on, Panthers play the Texans this week. My beer is from North Carolina in honor of the Panthers. They're surprisingly 2-0 under Sam Darnold. I don't know why I'm holding the beer up. I don't need to. I'm not talking about it yet. This matchup is excellent for Carolina.
Yeah, it is.
CMC is my RB1 this week, as is every week. DJ Moore, I think, is a high-end wide receiver 1, or low-end wide receiver 1, I should say. High-end wide receiver 2, low-end wide receiver 1. Robbie Anderson, I think, is a fine wide receiver 3. I also like the defense a lot this week as a streaming option. Texans do not have Tyrod Taylor this week. I don't think Davis Mills is good at football, just my opinion. So I think this is going to be an ugly one to watch. I think the Panthers are going to win this game.
It's sweating. I don't want it to drip on your laptop.
I just
thank
assumed
you.
it was because it was blocking his face.
Panthers win 25-8.
6. 8. A lot of safeties.
6 is hilarious.
6 and a 2-point conversion.
Oh,
I'm
that
drinking
makes more sense.
Perception is Spoon-Fed by Divine Barrel. It's a Berliner-style Weiss ale with key lime, coconut, vanilla, lactose, graham crackers, and marshmallow.
Sounds delicious.
It tastes like key lime pie. Would you care for a sip?
Yeah, you know I like key lime pie.
Yeah, you fucking with that key lime. It's good.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It tastes just like key lime pie.
It does.
I don't know how else I could describe it.
Everything from this place is great.
Yeah, it's a great brewery.
Did you guys go there when you were down there?
We did. Yeah, we were visiting Senni's old friend.
Yeah, fuck that kid though.
Senni's old friend.
Justin,
Is that a Vitamin C logo that I see on there?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, brewed in collaboration with Vitamin C.
Oh, how about that? I didn't even see that. So it's Divine Barrel and Vitamin C. Why don't you tell me what you're drinking and about the Texans? Do that first, actually.
Yeah, not much good things to say about the Texans.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, I know. Davis Mills, I had to look up this guy's name so many times prior to this episode because I kept forgetting it. I kept wanting to call him Foreman Mills.
Shred those bills.
I've
Yeah.
never heard that name before.
Foreman Mills.
Foreman
Ever.
Mills?
Those bills.
No.
Foreman
Davis
Mills.
Mills?
Yeah, Bills. He's a rookie.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
Okay.
And he's not a starter. I mean,
Yeah.
he's playing because Tyrod Taylor got hurt. Guy has the most unlucky career of anybody.
Yeah. But I like Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
I mean, still, Carolina, you mentioned, has a good defense, but I still think they're going to go down. They're going to go down early. They're going to be throwing the ball. So I like Cooks. Really, a running back, hard to choose from. Pass catching wise, I know David Johnson in the past has had a good career at pass catching, but with 3 backs in that backfield, I don't see any of them having a particularly great day. I am also going to choose the Panthers, but I am drinking French Toast Brown Ale from Ingenious Brewing Company. They are out of Humble, Texas.
Humble.
This beer is delicious. It tastes just pretty much like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay.
In a brown ale, not used to seeing that. Usually adjuncts like that you'll see in like a stout, but you get it on the nose. It's nice and light.
I'm going to drink it with my mouth.
Yeah.
What?
Not my nose. I don't want it in my nose. I want it in my mouth.
But yeah, I get the vanilla. You get cinnamon. Not super heavy.
Yeah.
Not something I think you could crush, but
Yeah, I get it.
be good on like a nice fall day around like a bonfire.
Agreed. That's a perfect description for that beer. I definitely get the flavor. I feel like it has a little bit of a bitter finish,
Yeah.
which is my only drawback, but still a solid brew. Senni, why don't you tell us what you're drinking and who you think is going to win this game?
All right. I think the Panthers are going to win because the Texans are garbage. This is not great. Notice in the past I've said garbage, so it's slightly above garbage.
We're improving.
So this is probably the best of the 3 I've had so far. Obviously, I've been cycling through this artisanal Brewworks Warheads. It's blue raspberry.
That is my personal favorite from the line.
And even for me to say that, that's not saying much. I still don't know that I would give it like even a 3.5 out of 5. But it is better than the other 2 that I've had.
It's just so tart.
It's not good. I was trying to say, like, it's just not good.
It's just pure tartness.
Yep.
It's a shame. All right, let's get into the 4 o'clock games.
It splashed in my eye.
Baby.
I'd rather do that than drink it.
It was a brutal day. Oh, it's Jets and the Broncos, by the way. Sorry, I didn't say that on the front end.
I think we could have fill in the blanks
gathered.
there.
Brutal day for the Jets against the Patriots on Sunday. I should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson threw 4 interceptions. There was one point where he had 4 interceptions and 4 completed passes.
Do you think Belichick just lives to make
Rookie quarterbacks' lives miserable? Yes.
Yeah, cry, yeah.
He does. He definitely watched that game film Sunday night.
I think that's how we get him here.
One
Just
out.
say, hey, you want to talk shit on rookie quarterbacks?
Yeah.
And be like,
You want a game plan against Davis Mills with us?
Yeah. Stop at Trillium on your way down.
Are you firing up any players on the Jets, Justin?
No. Maybe Corey Davis, but that's about it.
I like Corey Davis in season-long formats, but this is a bad matchup.
Yeah.
Broncos have a good defense. So there will be other games I would advise him as a flex play. This is not one of those weeks. And last week shouldn't have been one of those weeks either because Bill Belichick will just take away your best option and then, rub his nips while you throw 4 interceptions.
In his cutoff hoodie.
Yeah. Broncos defense, great streaming option this week.
Yeah.
And I also like Sutton and Fant. I think they appear to be the biggest beneficiaries in Jerry Jeudy's absence. Broncos are going to win this game 24-10.
Yeah, Broncos win. I think the score is going to be higher. I'm going to say 38-12.
I'm going to go with Jets because I want them to win at least one game.
Oh, wow. I think
pass
they'll
the
win
torch off
one.
to Senni.
Yeah. Your teeth are very blue from that beer, just so you know.
It's not even worth it. That's the worst part.
Dolphins and the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Is there anyone worth starting on the Dolphins with Tua's status uncertain, Justin?
Who's their kicker?
Jason Sanders.
Yes, Jason Sanders.
Nah.
No?
Nah.
Then
0
no.
points last week, man. Jacoby Brissett.
Well, that's not his fault. They got shut out.
Yeah, well, exactly. If they can't get into field goal range, he's not going to get any points.
No, I don't think there's anyone.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And the Raiders' offense has been great. Like Miami has a good defense, but the Raiders' offense is on fire.
Unreal.
Speaking of that offense, who is the quarterback for the Raiders, Senni?
Is it Carr?
It is Carr.
It's one of the few people I knew on that team.
Vince,
What is
can you
his
pause
first
your
name?
game and get us a Smirnoff Ice? Thank you.
I think Vince should have to drink it since he's
beating little kids in video games.
Senni's sticking up.
I switched to Zelda, alright?
Vince switched to Zelda, so now he's playing a
switch your
different
pick?
game.
No.
Yeah, Vince still has to take the ice. Is it a peach Bellini?
Peach Bellini.
It's a peach Bellini.
Vince, does your avatar have facial hair for your me?
I don't think so.
I just think it'd be hilarious if these poor kids see that it's a grown ass
Grown man,
who's kicking their ass in golf.
in golf. Derek Carr has been excellent so far this season.
Yeah, good at football.
He is good at football. Excellent analysis by you, Justin. He should be rostered in all formats at this point, I think. His status is uncertain this week.
Yeah, what happened?
He got hurt second or third quarter.
I didn't watch that part
he
of the
played,
other half.
He played the rest of the game. So I think he'll be okay. But there is a chance he misses.
Yeah.
Stranger things have happened.
Damn, you were so close.
I know. I thought you were gonna do it.
It's close.
Oh, I started watering.
Vince is crying, just like the children he was
That is-
beating
that
in
is
Mario
beaten up.
Golf. If he's out, I think you're still starting Darren Waller the baller.
Yeah.
The other receivers have questionable boom-bust value with or without Carr. I'm picking the Raiders,
Yeah, go Raiders.
20-10.
Yeah, Raiders.
The Bucks take on the Rams. This could be a good game.
This is going to be a
Yeah,
great
it
game.
is.
We know that the Bucks offense will produce points, and it's hard to bench a pass catcher if you have one. But what are your feelings about the running back situation, Justin?
Well, I currently have both of them, and I haven't started either of them this year. So don't start them. They've been so well, Jones just sucks.
Yeah.
And Uncle Lenny has been, he's gotten the volume, but there's just nothing to show for it.
Yeah, there's a lot of mouths to feed in that offense. I
Yeah.
think Leonard Fournette is the only one I would be starting. I think they're both risky flex plays, but I think Leonard Fournette has the most value, most upside. But it's a passing offense. Brady might throw for 50-plus touchdowns this season. Cooper Kupp has got the goods, dude.
Yeah.
You're starting him and Robert Woods every week. Eventually, I think their production evens out a little bit. It's been all Kupp so far. I expect Robert Woods to get a little bit better, Kupp to get a little bit worse as the season progresses. If Darrell Henderson Jr. misses this game, should managers insert Sony Michel, Justin?
I don't know. I would say no, just because I feel like it's going to be a shootout a lot through the air, and I don't see Michelle picking up much in the passing game.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. He's never been much of a pass-catching back. He's still getting used to this offense. So, yeah, hopefully Henderson can play. I kind of need him. I think this is going to be a great game, as I said already. I've learned not to pick against Tampa Bay. So I think the Bucs are going to win 34-31.
Yeah, I'm going Bucks.
I'd like to say Rams here, but I just really think the Bucks are going to win.
Yeah, it's hard to pick against Brady.
It's so difficult.
It really
It's a
is.
loser's game.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson. I will never do it again. Even if they're, he's 60 years old and he sucks, I'll still pick him to win. Seahawks play the Vikings.
This could be another good game, too.
Could be, yeah. Vikings have had a really good offense this season. We know who we're starting on the Seahawks no matter what. If we have players, we're starting them. But are you at all concerned about DK Donkey Kong Cock Metcalf so far this year, Justin? He's been second fiddle to Tyler Lockett through the start of the season.
I'm not. Just because of what Lockett's done in the past. I think history is going to repeat. Lockett's going to depreciate in fantasy value. And I think Metcalf's going to perform the way that, or to the level in which you drafted him.
I hope you're right, man, because I'm not happy right now.
James Robinson?
Yeah, that would be a great trade for you.
Oh, my gosh.
DK Metcalf had 11 targets last week, so the volume is still there. It's
Yeah.
just not clicking at the moment. We have a large enough sample size to know that Tyler Lockett is going to do the Tyler Lockett thing that you just talked about. So just stay patient with that huge penis man. He'll be okay, I promise. We also know who we're starting on Minnesota. But after seeing Dalvin Cook briefly leave with an injury on Sunday, I just want to stress that Alexander Mattison should be rostered in all leagues, especially if you have Dalvin Cook. Seahawks are going to win 26-21.
I'm going Vikings.
Upset alert.
I'm going with Seattle.
Okay. Let's talk about Sunday Night Football.
Did you say that knowing that Donkey Kong literally is known for saying, okay?
No.
What a coincidence.
Now we can talk about Sunday Night Football.
We've been waiting all day for Sunday night.
Senni, what have you been waiting all day for?
I've been waiting all day to talk about being athletic after school, like after you graduate school.
I thought you meant like 4 o'clock.
Nah. So
I thought about this a lot. Like,
just throughout my life, because I always wonder why people like care so much about like being good at sports after like their athletic career is over. And like it's tough because I'm in a situation where like I'm a coach, right? I've been two sport coach for years, so like in my position it matters to like help me make a little extra money, but like 90% of people are not in that situation. So like I always thought like it was like interesting that people cared so much about still being athletic, like because like you know it does, like being a great player in like high school or college, like it doesn't translate to real life. And then I go and I play in this like flag league with Shawn, and I'm seeing like how fun it is. I'm seeing people that are like who were clearly athletes in high school. I'm seeing other people who are more athletic now than they were in high school. You know, people who have definitely improved. And I guess, I don't know that my opinion has changed. It's just that I've kind of opened up to this idea that like, I don't know, if you enjoy this idea of like playing in leagues as like a hobby, maybe it's worth it to you. So based on the fact that my opinion has always been, no, it doesn't matter. I'm curious, like, more of, like, what do you guys think? What's your take on this idea of, like, does it matter to be good at sports once you're, like, a grown adult?
You can go first.
Yeah. I think my short answer would be I really don't think it matters too much. Like, unless you're, after you graduate, if you go professional, obviously you need to be athletic. For hobbies and things of that nature, I think it matters to an extent, like depending on how competitive it is. Like if you're playing in a flag football or a volleyball, for a volleyball team that's like sponsored by like a bar, you don't need to be that athletic. But depending on like the leagues and like with coaching, like if you can make money out of it, yes, I agree on the athleticism. So I see it from both sides, but I really don't think it matters that much. But interested to hear your thoughts.
In the grand scheme of things, no, it doesn't matter. However, it matters a great deal when you're as competitive as we are. And all of us are competitive. All four of us in the room are very competitive. And when you think about even playing pickup games, which athleticism shouldn't matter at all, think about our friends who you talk the most shit about and who you get the most pissed at.
The ones that aren't athletic.
The ones that aren't athletic are good.
You're right.
So it matters. It matters in social stance, and it matters if you care about it. Like, I feel if you care about sports and you play sports for fun, it's important for you to be athletic because you want to win and you want to be viewed as one of the best in everything you're doing. If you don't care at all about sports, no, it doesn't matter. There's no reason for you to be good, but it also doesn't matter if you were athletic in high school or college either because it was never something that interests you. So if you're playing for fun or to win competitively, either way, you don't want to suck. So I think it's important. I don't think that there's much difference in playing to compete as an adult or playing to compete just for fun in college or high school. So I think it matters relative to the person that you're talking about.
Yeah.
So to me, it matters because I want to be good and I want to win, and I'm the most competitive person I know.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, with that, when it comes to like sports that like I'm not good at, I just won't play.
Exactly.
It's like you've asked to play basketball many times, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah, exactly.
But like volleyball, I'll go out and play because I mean I think I'm somewhat decent at volleyball. Other sports, I'll go out and play that I think I'm at least half decent at. Basketball, I know I suck at. So
yeah, and that's why I don't play soccer. It's the same
exactly.
idea.
And I do think it's nice when you are athletic to be able to go play a sport
and have fun while doing it, because I don't have fun playing a sport that I suck at.
Exactly.
So like if I'm trying to make a layup and I can't make it, I'm getting pissed off and not having fun.
Right, exactly.
But it is nice, like when you are athletic, to be able to go play sports that maybe, you know, like again, I'll never play baseball. Like, it's not my thing. But like to be able to go out and play like some of these other sports and just being an athlete making it easier for me is nice. Like being able to
definitely
play,
gives you an edge.
Yeah, like being able for me to be able to go like play football and to really not care, but like still be able to keep up because I'm athletic. It's nice. It makes me feel better to think like, oh, this guy like loves football, plays all the time, and I'm like just as good, if not better than him.
Yeah.
And then obviously the ultimate example of this is this motherfucker who can just go play any sport.
Yeah, Vince is good at everything.
And just be the best person there.
Yeah, he bought a Switch on the way over here, and that's how he's beating.
Yeah, it's his first time ever playing
this kid,
Switch.
yeah.
So I mean, I think of Vince as like peak example of like natural athlete, could just go play any fucking sport.
Yep.
And because he's an athlete, He just is better.
Yeah.
So
Vince is my best friend. I've known him forever, and everything he's ever tried to be good at, he's been good at. So fuck you. I hate you.
Yeah, so he's not going to do the podcast next year because he's going to be on the PGA Tour.
so I guess I get what it would come down to is like if you have that personality, just that you want to be the best at like everything and dominate, then yes, it probably matters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's relative to the person. Like it might, what matters to someone doesn't matter at all to someone else. And in the grand scheme of things, it isn't the most important thing in any of our lives.
Yeah.
But I would say it's important to all of us to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Packers play the 49ers
That was
on
a great
Sunday
transition.
night. Thank you.
Packers play the 49ers on Sunday.
They do. It made me lose my train of thought.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my bad.
The Packers looked much improved on Monday night, and Aaron fucking Jones scored 4 touchdowns. Which version of the offense do you think we'll see this week, Justin? The week 1 version where they were poo-poo against the Saints, or week 2 where they poo-pooed on the Lions?
I think it's going to be a little bit in the middle, leaning more so towards the Lions. I think the Packers did kind of find their stride, but they're also going to be playing a much better team than the Lions.
Yeah. The last time I saw the Packers play the 49ers on Sunday night, Aaron Rodgers did not look like Aaron Rodgers. He only had 104 yards and 1 touchdown. I don't expect that to happen again, but I am tempering expectations. That being said, I do have the 49ers defense in a league, and I'm looking for other options. I think the Packers offense is going to be fine. I don't necessarily know that they're going to be as explosive as they were where he threw 4 touchdown passes and Aaron Jones rushed one in like they did on Monday. But I do think that they'll be a very solid offense again this week. Stop me if you've heard this one before. The 49ers backfield is very banged up.
Continue.
Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., JaMychal Hasty, all officially ruled out. Elijah Mitchell and Trey Sermon are both questionable. If Mitchell plays, start him. If one plays and the other one doesn't, definitely start that player. If neither play, Trenton Cannon is the only healthy running back on the team. I would not start him. I don't know anything about him.
Trenton Cannon sounds like a name that you made up prior to us recording.
I think it's Nick
Sounds
Cannon's
like a porn
son.
star name.
Oh, it does. It does sound like that.
Is Nick Cannon's son?
I said it sounds like Nick Cannon's son.
I
I
thought you
don't
said
think
it.
it actually is.
Motherfucker can't be that old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He's got a lot of kids, I think. But I think it should be another big day for Deebo Samuel. And hopefully, for the love of freaking Christ, George Kittle can get involved in the action for once this season. Are you concerned about him, Justin?
I think he's such a great talent. It's hard to be concerned. But I think with him, I think he's the best all-around tight end in the league. When, like, catching, blocking, everything like that. I think he's the best. I want to see what he can do this week before I hit the sound
Panic
alarm.
button?
Yeah, panic button.
Yeah. I agree with everything you said. I feel like a big reason why he hasn't been so productive is because they've been trying to run the ball. But I got to see more from this guy. He went in the 3rd or 4th round in pretty much every league I'm in. And so far, that value has not been returned. TJ Hawkinson has been much better. Even Gronk has been way better. He's ridiculous. He looks like old Gronk again.
You think he just needed a year to get a Arian system under his belt?
I think he had to get back into football shape, but I also don't think that this is going to continue all season.
No, I don't think it's
But I still think he's
sustainable.
serviceable. I think Gronk is a good option now.
Yeah.
Brady obviously loves him. We're not talking about that.
No.
Packers win 20-16.
I'm going to go 49ers.
Okay.
I still think the Packers are going to win.
All right, so we got 2 Packers and 1 49er. Our last game of the week, the Eagles and the Cowboys. Eagles struggled against San Francisco on Sunday, but this week they have a better matchup. Jalen Hurts is a top 5 play for me, and I think Devontae Smith is a decent flex option. How do you rank Miles Sanders this week, Justin?
I would rank him probably as a flex option. I think he needs those big plays, especially with their backfield more or less turning into a committee. I think it's hard to put that much faith into him. So I would see him as a flex option, but he needs, like I said, he needs those big plays.
I think he's still fringe top 20. It's always been a committee in Philadelphia. I thought we'd see more Boston Scott this year. We're seeing a lot of Kenneth Gainwell. I still don't think he has any standalone value. Miles Sanders is the only one I would be starting. But yeah, he's reliant on long touchdown runs to have solid fantasy production. So there is, a bit of cause for concern, but still playable. For the Cowboys, it may not seem like it, but there's a similar situation. Zeke and Tony Pollard, in my mind, are in a committee. And the snap share may not be the same for each of them. Zeke is going to play more snaps, I would say. But it's still a pretty even split in terms of touches. Zeke had 18 for 97 yards and a touchdown. Pollard had 16 for 140 and a touchdown. I said last week I thought that Pollard looked better to the eye test. There is always speculation that they're just trying to preserve Zeke for later in the season because it's a long season. I've been trying to say it's a committee, but nobody wants to listen to me. Do you think Tony Pollard has standalone value, Justin?
If what you say is true that they're preserving Zeke for later in the season, I think pick up Pollard now, start him for a couple weeks. Him, I would start as a flex. I wouldn't put him.
Oh, yeah, he's a flex. I think he's a flex option.
But long term, I don't see him having much standalone value. But I think now you can stream him for a couple weeks.
I think they're going to use both of these guys, and I think they're smart to use both of these guys because both guys can produce.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Zeke is head and shoulders above Tony Pollard.
Not anymore, no.
So I feel like they both, it could be like a Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb situation where both guys have standalone value. One is obviously better than the other, but the other guy is still fine in your lineup. I don't know, just my opinion. It's early. It's week 2. Get off my back, man.
You drafted him.
Yeah, and
So
I
you
dropped
didn't go
him.
undrafted.
I dropped him like a week later.
Who, Pollard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at
So
that.
I was looking to see if he went.
Yeah, I did.
undrafted.
I felt it in my plums at the beginning of the season, but I chickened out. This is a tough one to pick for me. So I'll go with the home team. Dallas 32, Philly 28.
Oh, so you picked the Eagles. I'm going to go Dallas.
I picked the Cowboys.
That's why I thought it was so funny because he meant home team like I assume it's in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Because you
I thought you
essentially
said-
thought Philly. I thought you were making a joke.
I thought you said 38.
No.
I thought you said Dallas 32, Eagles 38.
I picked the Cowboys,
Okay.
man.
Yeah, I'm
Dallas,
Dallas.
Stack, do fucking something.
I hope so, Senni. I need him.
Motherfucker.
I need him too. All right, let's go dump Gatorade on me.
Sounds good.
All right, well, here we are back at the old stomping grounds. We poured ice water on Senni last season. This is undeniably worse. So I guess I'm ready to just get it over with. So cheers to me for losing.
It's a nightmare. I'm like, dude, I would not want to do this.
Can you lift it over my head?
Yeah, we should be good.
I'm just saying, like, I'm taller. I
Oh my god.
All right. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Holy fuck. Oh my gosh, that was horrific.
Why don't you hold that microphone for me?
Here you go. That's going to do it for this week's episode of the Fantasy Beer League. We'll be with you every Wednesday on YouTube. It's audio-only podcasts on Spotify and Apple. Like and subscribe, or I'm going to dump a bucket of Gatorade on your head. I'm Shawn Joyce. He's Justin Giel. And here's Matt Senni with his advice of the week.
If you ever want to be considered a real athlete, you have to play in an organized basketball league.
Thanks for watching. Good luck in week 3.